Hey, what's going on guys? It's Dan from Table Tennis Daily, and in this review we'll be looking at the Marcos Freitas blade. So this blade was released last year in 2016 alongside the Tiago Apollonia ZLC. Be sure to check out our review on this blade in the links in the description. So I'm lucky enough to be joined alongside Marcos Freitas to review and test this blade with him. Marcos is currently 15 in the world and had a former world ranking at number 7. So an absolute incredible player, and it's been great to pick his brains and see what this blade is all about. So this blade is based off the popular Michael Mays blade. Over the last 10 years throughout Marcos' career, he's been using the Michael Mays blade. So with his own personal blade, he wanted something with very similar construction. And obviously with the Michael Mays blade now being discontinued, Freitas wanted to carry along its legacy and bring in that construction into his own blade. So it's a 7-ply blade. Top pliers are used in limber, which is a soft wood to give you a nice dwell. The second ply in is ALC carbon. ALC carbon is that traditional carbon used in most of the butterfly blades, including the T-Mobile ALC, for example. Here's a T-Mobile ALC. It's a very similar construction in terms of the carbon. However, the T-Mobile blade uses koto as the outer layer, which is a much harder wood. In the Marcos Freitas blade, using the limber, which is a bit softer. So the blade itself has a nice elegant design with blue colours on the front with a very nice smooth lens. I really like this lens about this blade. It's not too uncomfortable when you hold and grip the bat. It's just so smooth that you can barely even feel it when you're playing, which is really nice and comfortable. It also has the hologram lens, which butterfly blades have now to show that they're real and legit and not fake. And also comes in their new traditional packaging, which is always very nice. Gives that premium feel. So this blade itself weighs around 92 grams alongside the other two I have here. However, Butterfly do state the average weight for these blades is around 90 grams, which is about right for a carbon blade. Throughout the review, we'll be briefly testing this blade with how it compares to the other blades on the market, so you get a good idea of how this blade performs. So we will be comparing it to the popular T-Mobile ALC and of course the Michael Mays blade to get a rough idea where this blade sits. We also tried it against the Tiago Apollonia ZLC as well, to get a good idea and a good balance on how the Marcos Freitas blade performs. Of course, both sides we used the 10EG series rubbers. I used the 05 on both sides, and so did Marcos. Enjoy the review.
As always, when training with a pro is challenging, especially when trying to block their quality shots. I can feel the crisp sensation you get with most ALC blades, like the T-Mobile ALC, Janjica ALC and Michael Mays blade. One thing I did notice early on was I put some of the balls off the end of the table, which I had to adjust to as the blade felt quite stiff and hard. Marcos did say to me that it was due to his level of spin variation, which in fairness is probably a nice way to say I'm not good enough to block his shots.
What made you decide to choose this blade?
Long story. I have been playing for many years with one butterfly blade. It was Michael Mays, and I started I think in 2006. This was the first year I went to Germany to play, and I always liked the Michael Mays wood, and so because he's no longer playing, and Butterfly wanted to do a blade with my name, then I was checking some different combinations, but I never found something that I really liked, something that I wanted to change. So finally they did this wood, which is based in the old Michael Mays, and made sense because he's no longer playing. So anyway, now the new Michael Mays wood can be produced with my name, and I can continue to play with this wood.
When top spinning, I liked how I could produce a lot of speed with excellent control. This is an area I like a lot with butterfly carbon blades in general, giving you both speed and precision.
Sorry, that's good.
The amount of spin and depth on the ball when Marcos is away from the table on both the backhand and forehand side is quite something.
Wow.
I found I needed to have a relaxed grip to block Marcus's incoming shots. The medium hardness of the blade required a looser grip to avoid the ball going directly to the net or off the end of the table to get that feeling and control.
What makes a good topspin?
Quality. I mean, I always think that you should have one of two things in your ball, spin or speed. I mean, to have both, it's not possible because if you play faster, the less spin you have. The slower you play, the more spin you can put in the ball. So depending on the situation, you have to choose if you go for the speed or if you go for the spin. And another important thing is if the ball is really flat, if it's not high when it's passing the net. Because the flatter it is, then the harder it is to play contra spin. Yeah.
Again, you can see me struggling to cope with the huge amounts of spin Marcus is able to achieve. Perhaps with a less stiff blade, I may have had more of a chance. But of course, this blade is for attackers looking for lots of speed and power.
Good.
I like the crisp feeling on the butterfly blade. You know, when you hit the ball and you have that
Yeah.
good feeling.
You feel in the grip.
Yeah.
Yeah. This gives you confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, this part, yeah. Very good.
When attacking, I found I could play really strong shots from close to the table. I could get a huge amount of spin and quality in my topspins. The dwell and the combination of the limber outer wood generates enough feeling to produce spin, but not too responsive to lose out on control. This is sometimes the case with other carbon blades, such as the Super ZLCs, where the carbon blades are very rapid and responsive. This ALC by Marcos Freitas had a good balance.
Obviously, other players, Lewis Tanya uses 10G80. Have you always just used 05 or?
Yeah, I'm not a player who likes to try and to test a lot of things. I always try to focus in my practice. And so, you see in the wood, I play for the last 10 years with the Michael Mays. And now I have this one, which is also the same. The rubbers, every time I played, since the first time I tried butterfly rubbers, I went for the 05, for the 10G05, and never changed. So I always try to adapt. And I also think it's the best rubber because all the other were produced after and based on the 05. So I really think the 05, I have more options and I have especially more spin than the 80 or FX or all the other rubbers from butterfly. So
more like the flagship.
Yes,
one.
exactly. So I know it's a little bit harder, but I like because I can give more spin in the ball. So this is why I like, and since I tried the 05, I never tried any other.
There's no point to change if you're happy.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm happy, I don't want to change.
What I found really impressive with Marcus throughout the review was his ability to anticipate incoming shots with ease. Even when I blocked the ball at random on the table, he could still play high quality strokes even when he didn't know where the ball was going. Although I was happy with the amount of spin I produced when serving, as you would expect, Marcos flicked the ball with absolute ease. Marcos talks here why he really likes this blade in the short game.
So with this blade, you feel it's good for backhand flick in the short game?
Yes, I feel it's good for everything. This is why I have been using for so long. Like I said, the last 10 years I have been playing with a similar blade, and this is why I improved. I mean, if you look 10 years ago, I was not even in top maybe 300, and right now I'm at the top, so this blade is definitely good. It helped me a lot, and I think it can help also other players. So I really feel confident in every shot. Of course, when the blade is new, it's a little bit different because it's still stiff. So you have to use it, you have to glue several times. You know, everybody say a new blade is never the same as the old one because the old one has the blood, the tears, and all the victories from before. And this is true. You need to sweat, you need to practice, you need to glue several times. And then I think the blade will also adapt to your needs.
That's really interesting because I think that's what some people do say at the beginning. Oh, it's a hard blade when they get the blade.
Yes.
Yeah, over some practice.
Yeah. Depending of the way you glue, also the way you use, I think the blade always becomes part of you, and the longer you use, I think you will also adapt to the blade and will start to like it. Yeah.
So close.
With the combination of Tenergy 05 and the Freitas blade, I felt good bite and grip. When I served, I could impart good amounts of spin onto the ball and variation. I even managed to surprise Marcos a couple of times.
Oh, good service. Good service. Good.
I find it easier to serve more consistently with the Freitas ALC when compared to the Bolt ALC, due to it being slightly less responsive. This is probably because of the Freitas ALC's softer outer limber plies. Top spinning against backspin worked very well with the Freitas ALC. This blade was in its element when capitalising on the follow-up ball. I could play with good power and direction. Having used the Michael Mays blade in the past, I actually feel the Freitas blade is a touch faster, but with slightly less dwell. I would say the T-Mobile ALC is a touch faster and slightly crisper. However, nowhere near as fast as the Misitani Super ZLC. The Freitas blade sits between the speed of an Apollonia ZLC and the T-Mobile ALC, but is one of the best ALC blades I have used for producing spin. Here Marcos is showing the quality of crisp spin he could produce with his backhand. I thought I'd go coach mode on Marcos and feed him some multiple.
Big part of the game, it's the defense and the counter-attack. And if you have a good counter-spin, then it's just easier. Also in the receive, you are more confident to push long, and it's just an important part in the game, in the top level. So this is why in several different moments, even if I'm just playing regular exercise, from time to time I just push, and then they really try to spin that I miss the counter spin, and then I just really try to go for the ball. Also with the rubber, the energy is really good rubber for the counter spin, and I really have confidence with this rubber.
Here are some match points between me and Marcos. I really enjoyed using the Freitas ALC in free gameplay, as it gave me the typical ALC carbon feeling and precision that I liked.
What is backspin?
This was upspin.
Conclusion. Thanks to Butterfly for giving us this fantastic opportunity to test their latest ALC blade, and also to the main man himself, Marcos Freitas, for featuring in the review. The Marcos Freitas ALC is another great addition to the Butterfly range, with the Portuguese star taking inspiration from the Michael Mays blade to create his own personal blade with a similar construction.
I think the best word is really balance. So it's fast, but not very fast, and with a lot of control. So I think this is what most players need. Of course, you have to really see which kind of player you are, but if you play with a similar style to like mine, I mean, trying to do everything, playing far away, on the table, a little bit defensive attack also, I think this is a good wood for you, because it's very balanced, fast enough, but not really too fast. Yeah. And with a lot of control, and you feel through the grip the touch of the ball, and this over time will give you confidence, and also will help you to play better. Yeah.
The outer veneers of the Freitas ALC comprise of softer limber wood. This means it's slightly slower than the T-Mobile ALC, but allows some more dwell and spin. The limber wood helps play from away from the table, producing good arc and depth in your shots. Whereas the T-Mobile ALC, using the Koto as the outer ply, which is a harder wood, produces a more crisp and faster shot, which in effect is harder to control. The Freitas using limber gives more dwell, spin and accuracy. In comparison to the Mays blade, the Freitas ALC is almost indistinguishable, apart from being slightly faster, more comfortable, and comes in a newly designed handle. The Freitas is thicker than the Bow ALC, inner force layer ALCs, and only topped by the Gradient ALC in terms of thickness. This Freitas ALC is ideal for players who love the Mays and want a blade that's a little easier to control and less responsive than the T-Mobile ALC, with a slightly stiffer feel due to the 0.2mm increase in thickness. The Marcos Freitas ALC is not for beginners and is geared towards players who have a solid technique and can handle a fast carbon blade. This blade in general will suit aggressive tacking players who like a blade with a consistent medium throw angle. Be sure to like, share and subscribe. Also check out our equipment review centre where you can review equipment yourself. Keep an eye out for our one set showdown between me and Marcos that will release soon. Thanks for watching.
9.